Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. Today we are going to discuss poetry's use of symbols, how symbols are being used in poetry. We have concrete objects which often act as symbols carrying deeper meaning. And for example, the cross in Christian thought can be considered as a concrete object. Symbols can be conventional or private. Private, like the albatross in Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and the albatross in Coleridge's ballad. In The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, we see the albatross symbolizes the natural order destroyed by man, a meaning that emerges within the context of the poem. Now, about figures of speech in poetry. Rhetorical figures involve non-literal meanings. More than 200 figures of speech exist, with simile and metaphor being the most common in poetry. And what is simile? Simile is a comparison using like, as, than, or compare. For example, Robert Burns' A Red, Red Rose, a very famous example. Then, oh, my love's like a red, red rose, compares love to a rose using like. Similes are also prevalent in ancient epics such as the Iliad. Example from the Iliad. There, Homer compares Hector and Achilles' fight to a hawk attacking a pigeon. The line, as when a falcon swoops fiercely down. Here, the simile creates vivid imagery akin to animation as humans morph into animals. And now, what is metaphor? Metaphor is a direct comparison without asking like or as. That is, in simile we have like or as. Here, we have no like or as. Example, if Burns had said, my love is a red, red rose, it would transform the simile into a metaphor. Shakespeare has also used metaphor. In his As You Like It, he uses a different metaphor in each stanza to enhance meaning without explicit comparisons. Now, what is tenor? Tenor is the person or object or idea being described. For example, my love. Then what is vehicle? Vehicle is the image or comparison. That is, my love is being compared to a red rose. Then we have purpose of rhetorical figures. That is, why these rhetorical figures are being used in poetry. They provide non-literal meaning, making abstract ideas more concrete. And they also enhance poetry's imagery and concreteness. And it makes poetry as a verbal icon. Why it is verbal icon? Because it is often likened to a verbal picture because of its vivid imagery. Like, for example, John Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn, which describes a Greek vase creating a pictorial effect. Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn, where we see time which stands still in the imagery on the urn. The lines, thou foster child of silence and slow time. The urn represents the idea that art overcomes human transience. And Keats also compares the vast timeless beauty to his poetry. Then the Attic vase as a model for poetry. Keats refers to the vase's round, closed shape as a symbol of the harmony and timelessness poetry strives to achieve. Then, in the parody of Keats' Urn, we can see the same. That is, Wallace Stevens' anecdote of the jar mocks Ode on a Grecian Urn. It replaces, that is, Wallace Stevens in his anecdote of the jar, he replaces urn with a mass-produced jar. Ridicules the ode as outdated and criticizes romantic ideals. He also highlights modernism's need to distance itself from classical models. An Imagism movement, a 20th century poetry movement which was led by Ezra Pound. Ezra Pound focused on condensing poetry into powerful, essential images. He sought clarity of expression without inhibition. Pound emphasized presenting one clear image over creating long, complex words. And here is an example of imagism. Ezra Pound's In a Station of the Metro. There he tries to say about the apparition of these faces in the crowd. Petals on a wet black bow. So he uses simple, vivid imagery to capture a moment. So we have Ezra Pound's condensed poetry. Ezra Pound's poem In a Station of the Metro, it was actually originally longer but reduced to 3 lines. This poem uses a metaphor comparing people in a metro station to petals on a wet black bow. The poem reflects Chinese nature painting in its imagery. Thus, we have the influence of haiku on imagism. Pound was inspired by the Japanese haiku form, which uses 3 lines, that is 17 syllables, and refers to nature or time. For example, Matsuo Basho's haiku. An ancient pond or a frog jumps in the splash of water. Chinese ideograms and imagism. Chinese ideograms combine writing and images which intrigued images poets. Images sought to create vivid, condensed verbal images to overcome the lack of pictorial elements in alphabetical writing. So that's all for today. Next session will be held in the next part. Thank you.